I met this man and he has similar biblical values. I want to be a stay-at-home wife and he wants that too. I'm not totally attracted to him, but we just met and he provides and pays for everything. He is financially secure and stable, wants to take about a year to marry me, provides for his family. He is very sexually attracted to me. He wants to talk on the phone every single day, but I have set boundaries for both of those things. Okay, babe, let's break this down a bit. So, first, let's tally up those values. Okay, provides for all the dates, checkpoint. He gives money to his family, provides for them when they're in need, checkpoint. He has biblical values, checkpoints. He respects your boundaries, checkpoints. Believes in women staying at home with the children, checkpoint. So these are the values that you want to give recognition to and put a premium on in deciding, whether he would be a good fit for you or not. But if you are worried about your physical attraction to him, I would question to you if you feel that you are being emotionally seen enough around him, okay? Because anytime that you feel like you can't express your truth and you have to hide a part of yourself, hide, some of your triggers, and you just don't feel emotionally safe with him, this is going to hinder and block your physical desire for him. And men do deserve to be physically desired just as much as we do. So, first, work on you becoming emotionally grounded in yourself and being able to sit with your truths and your feelings that come up. And then, once you accept that part of you, you will be able to show up to him, not afraid to express that truth that is within you. Because men flock to open, vulnerable women that are not afraid to express themselves, express their truths. Okay? Women who are not afraid to stand firmly in what they believe in. And I will give you an example. When I was younger and I was hanging out with a much different crowd, I would suppress a lot of my value systems and beliefs because I witnessed a lot of the ways that they were living their life, and I knew that it was contrary to how I was raised, and so I began to just think that their way was the normal way. And so I would just hide that. I would suppress it. I would just say, you know what, I guess this is how life is supposed to be. I guess this is the way that the cookie crumbles. And, whatever. I was even afraid to acknowledge it within myself and then even potentially maybe give them some wisdom and help them, right? Just a lot of the ways that they were living their life in just unholy ways, okay? It was very confusing to me. So I would hide that, and I knew that I had a lot of internal wisdom, but I didn't even want to show that to them because I was afraid of what they would think. I was afraid that they wouldn't want to be, friends with me anymore, or think I was weird, or, question my integrity. But then I had a revelation within myself and, went through a lot of spiritual healing and decided that, yeah, I do have a lot of wisdom to share. And why is it my place to try to make them feel comfortable? That's not my place, and that's not my problem if they are triggered by my truth. Okay? Are you following what I'm saying? So stop suppressing the parts of you that you feel like are not going to be accepted, because when you start accepting them for yourself, that's when you'll be able to attract those who also resonate on the same level. So I say all that to say is that men, they deserve to be physically desired, just as much as you. But however, your physical attraction to him is going to take longer. It's going to take longer to brew up, okay? Because feminine women fall in love much slower than men do. And so allow that process to just happen naturally and slowly for yourself. Don't feel like you have to rush into anything, okay? Give yourself some grace and time, because when the timing is right and when you feel like you've, you know, established a real emotional connection with him, you will start to be physically and sexually attracted to him. Okay, so as far as the next concern with finances, ladies, I never encourage you to worry about finances with men, okay? Let men take charge in the world of finances and money and providing, okay? Because we are the relationship drivers. Men are more equipped at decision making and more equipped at, you know, business structure and things in the masculine competition, business, financial world. So it's not to say that money does not matter, because it absolutely does. But let that ride out within the progression of the relationship, because we should be more focused on the internal world, on the world of the relationship, rather than the outside world of doing his role as, you know, the provider and protector. When we are focused more in on the internal world, and inspiring his, you know, provision and protection, natural talents, that is when they feel more of a drive and inspiration to make more money and provide even more for us. So if you know that he's a good provider and you are a feminine woman showing up as a woman to be provided for, um, then let all those issues and worries and stressors about money flee from your mind. Okay? Let those worries release from you. Women tend to think, well, oh, I just want to have it all, so I have to do it all. Well, sure, you can have it all, but you don't have to have it all at once. You don't have to have all your cards so perfectly lined up, A, B, and C, in the beginning stages of a relationship, or even before the relationship even blossoms into anything, okay? So what is firstly important that is established is that he's a good provider. You want to have kids. He wants to have kids. Get married, of course, and allow you to, you know, be stay-at-home mom if that's what you want, and take care of the world of providing. That's what needs to be established first and foremost, because that is your, you know, most deep-rooted need from him. So all the extra desires and more superficial stuff, that can come later. I mean, would you rather find a man that can provide you with, you know, Chanel and Gucci bags right now, or would you rather find a man who can make you feel more feminine, who can be there for you when you need him, who you can run to when you're having, you know, emotional triggers that you are dealing with, a man that can be your companion, you know, and go out on dates with you? What is more important to you? Okay, so let that ride out naturally as the relationship progresses. Okay, so for the next point, she says, you know, he's not able to provide until marriage. And I know a lot of women don't like to hear this, but to my value system, we are not entitled for a man's full provision until you are married to him. Okay, so he's got a point with that. We, the Bible says husbands are to provide for their wives. And before women became so independent, they would be handed over from the provision and protection of their fathers straight on over to a man in marriage who would then provide and protect for her, okay? So it was never like, oh, you know, she's going off by herself and being a boss babe and, you know, hustling hard, making her own money, paying all her own bills. No, it wasn't like that. It was just from father to husband. So while we are not entitled to his provision before marriage, if he feels that it's very important to provide for you before you're married, then that is something that has to be an idea brought upon himself, right? So he has to be the one to propose that idea and think of it himself rather than you trying to, ask for that or feel like you're entitled to that sort of treatment before you're married. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if he wants to do that, that's great. That shows that he's being very intentional. But that's a big responsibility to put on men. And they're not going to be just providing for just any woman that they're not sleeping with. Okay. So, and you wouldn't want that anyways. So, if you are wanting to get married pretty quickly and he wants to wait, a year, as most men, especially today, they want to take the time to get to know a woman. That's just due to so many of the dating crises and, a lot of deep fears and internal belief systems that we've created, and even just watching, other people's relationships fail. We become very jaded by that naturally. So, anyways, if you are wanting to get married, sooner than a year, you are allowed to have that standard. But don't tell him that his idea is wrong. Instead, tell him, you understand why he would want to wait, but don't cross out your other options of dating and vetting other men if you're just not willing to, put yourself on the line for a man for a whole year. And for us women, we want the commitment faster because we already have this intuitive knowing that we are worthy of being committed to, right? Because feminine energy is so powerful. And what we bring to the table, and I hate to use that phrase, but what we bring, it's already read in our energy. But what men bring is more tangible things. So it's different for the way that they feel ready for marriage versus how when we feel ready for marriage, because we already know that we can produce a baby inside of our wombs, and that's how we know that we're worthy of being committed to. But for men, they have to more so prove themselves to be worthy of you, and prove that they can be strong and very masculine and independent and provide and protect for you in ways that another man can't. They have to really work hard to prove themselves and earn that right. So in the same way that you're not entitled for him to fully provide before you're married, he's not entitled to your exclusivity. That's why I suggest you don't just focus in all your energy onto him and trying to get him to give you what it is that you need, and open yourself up to the possibilities of vetting and dating other options. And in the grand scheme of things, it's very selfish of us to claim someone or hold someone else back when we have no rights to them. Like, I had to tell someone that I cared about that it's selfish of me to, string someone along or be strung along, because selfish on their part too, where you have no idea where, you're heading. You have no idea where it's going. You have no idea what each other wants, or there's no intention behind it. It's just selfish to try to claim someone that you really have no rights to. And I think what my unique stance and take is, into the world of relationships online, is that I always offer a more humble perspective, a more spiritual perspective. And I think that's why a lot of you ladies, value what I say, because it is coming from a much more humble perspective. Okay. And lastly, The boundaries that you create for yourself are for you, okay? And you're allowed to create whatever boundaries that you feel is necessary. So if you don't want to talk on the phone every single day for hours, then that's fine. You don't have to. Because for us women, we care more about action. We don't care about talking, and not seeing any fruit of their labor. We want to see masculine action. And if your eggs are not all in that one basket, then you're not even going to have time to just talk on the phone all day long. Okay. And as far as his physical desire for you, that's great. That's an honor. Okay. He should feel a sexual pull towards you. But that does not mean that it has to be consummated or honored, before the timing is right, before you are one with one another. So again, that boundary is created for you, for your spiritual relationship. It's not created to try to, bend him and manipulate him, try to get him to do what it is that you want him to do. There's no manipulation there. It's created for you, okay? And protecting your heart and protecting your emotional and psychological health. So yes, that's great if he has the attraction for you. And that's the kind of energy that allows men to pursue you even harder and come more towards you, okay? Because that sexual energy is what drives them in life, and drives them to make that commitment. That's why it really needs to be retained until the container is established. Because if that sexual tension is just released, but there's no container for it, then what's the motivation anymore to, get to the commitment? That's usually when men start prolonging the process of marriage, and testing it out further and further. Because what more would they have to pursue if they're already getting your sexual energy? Nobody else is getting that. That's the most intimate act that you can do. So that very potent energy has to be transmuted into a greater purpose. And to be honest, if you're not sleeping with him because you require the safe container of marriage, that will give him more incentive to move the process along much faster. Because any man that genuinely cares about you and wants something real, he's not going to just run just because he didn't get the goods. And again, this is not about manipulation. Because when you form an emotional bond with him, you will want to gift that to him. You will want him to feel your desire just as much as you feel his desire. You will want that to be a special, sacred, and holy gift of joining together. It is that. It's a gift. And we treat it as it means nothing anymore. And whenever I hear someone I care about saying, I hooked up with this person or had a one night stand with this person, I am so truly disgusted. Like, my heart breaks for you because you don't see that as a gift. You don't see that as something so sacred and holy. Grow to the point where you are truly disgusted to hear about people sleeping together outside of marriage. Grow to that point. Once you reach that point, you've reached a level of maturity that most people cannot hit. I literally remember being 15 years old and being disgusted and literally had tears in my eyes every time I learned about or witnessed hookups or people just randomly sleeping with other people. I was this information to me was just traumatizing. I grew up in a Christian household where my parents were married. Of course, when I started to witness that, I was distraught by it. So literally get yourself to the level of maturity where, oh, you're sleeping with her and she's not your wife? I don't respect you. Mm-mm. Doesn't get my respect. In fact, I'm utterly repulsed by it. Anyways, my lady, I hope that this video was helpful to you. I hope that I was able to give you a bit more insight into your situation. And thank you for asking, such great questions and bringing up such a great topic, because your situation could very well help many of my other girls on here. So thank you for that. And you guys know I have a dating course available to you right now. It is filled with hours and hours of knowledge of dating, being feminine, understanding men, how to flirt, how to not come on too aggressive to men. Just so much in there that you maybe are not aware of for yourself. And us feminine women today, we need more skills than ever before. We need more skills than the women in previous generations, because they were just naturally so feminine. And us women today, we have to work a little bit harder to be as feminine as possible. So I have created that course for you, and hopefully you will check it out. I will leave a link down below. And as always, if you find this content to be very helpful, make sure you subscribe in order to help this channel grow. Leave a comment, leave a like, send me an email. I do offer one-on-one coaching if you are interested in that. And I respond to all my DMs. So as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.